Hello, this is a product review of the Robo 3D version 1, and I hope to save you money and time by sharing my experiences with you. With that said, there are several aspects of 3D printing that I can cover, but in this review I only want to cover particular pros and cons that stood out to me, and hopefully that will help you.
Why did I purchase the Robo 3D R1? Well, it dealt with time and price. So during the time was like 2014 or 2015, and the price was approximately $800, and that was during their crowdfunding stage. And I start comparing 3D printers, right? So I looked at the one on the left I have here on the slide, and it was a kit. And with that kit, to me, was like, oh, this is time consuming. It looks a little difficult to build. I don't have time. You know, it's for the I would love to build it, but I just didn't have time. I wanted to produce parts and products. So I look at the Robo 3D here, R1, and I can actually, it looks professional. I could take it into my office and use it while I'm working. I mean, it was a good looking package. So I thought I was on my way. I'm not here to talk badly about anyone's product. This review is based on my personal experience, and hopefully I can save someone some money and time. The following list are the primary items that I looked at, or that I look at for a 3D printer. Although there are several other items that can be added to this list, but this is what I found necessary. Price and time, which I covered earlier. The enclosure, which we have a semi-enclosure here. The heated bed, just in case you want to do ABS and other filaments. Stepper motors, the X, Y, and Z. The filament feeder. The hot end. The controller. The bed leveling, either manual or automatic. And customer service. The following list are the pros for the Robo 3D. The first one is that it's under $1,000, which was a good price at the time. Next is that we have other 3D printers that were cheaper, but they also look cheaper and they were poor quality. There were DIY or do-it-yourself kits available, which required a lot of work, and it was time consuming, and it was a lot of troubleshooting involved. This Robo 3D had a semi-enclosure, which gave it a pretty good aesthetic look and sturdiness about it. So you could take it to your office, or even in the home environment, it looked okay. You couldn't see the stepper motors because they were hidden. The belts were hidden, and the controller is under the bottom, so you don't see that as well, which is a good feature. The heated bed was good at the time because a lot of 3D printers didn't have heated beds. So I thought I could print with PLA as well as ABS, but little did I know I need a full enclosure instead of a semi-enclosure. The build plate. The build plate was fairly large compared to what was on the market at the time, and that was good because I thought I was going to build larger products, right? The larger size, instead of having to break up the model and print the model and then assemble the model. Stepper motors. The stepper motors worked fairly smoothly, and that's a good thing. Bed leveling was manual, of course, during that time, but it was straightforward. It wasn't that difficult to do. And the controller, like I said, it was hidden. It was under the 3D printer, so that was a pretty good deal, and I didn't have any problems out of that. The following list are the cons for the Robo 3D. The first one is I could not create parts because the filament did not stick to the heated bed. The filament feeder was a little challenging because I had to tighten up 2 screws on the back end of the filament feeder by hand. So it was a manual adjustment, and I had to have the correct compression on the filament as it was fed into the hot end. The hot end, it extruded the PLA, but unfortunately the PLA didn't stick to the heated bed, so I wasn't sure what was wrong. This was my first 3D printer, so I decided to replace the hot end with the E3D hot end, thinking that that was the problem, but it wasn't. The controller, I couldn't test the controller because I still couldn't get any good parts, so I really couldn't, do a real test. But these stepper motors, they worked fine. Everything, the movement was fine. There was no LCD screen. Unlike now, everybody has an LCD screen, so you can know what's going on. You can see what's going on, what part is it. So back then, I had to connect my laptop, right, to it. And I couldn't check, of course, print quality, the layers, dimensions, and all that of the parts. And of course, I couldn't check print speed. But again, the stepper motors and the belts and all that looked like it was working fine. But of course, I couldn't check anything because I had a difficult time trying to get the PLA to stick to the heated bed. And of course, customer service. The customer service was poor because, and I'm assuming because of the Kickstarter campaign. And I don't think I ever do that again. I'll wait until after the campaign and make sure I can have someone I can talk to, a contact, to help me with any problems that I have with any 3D printer that I purchase. And that's it. Well, there's still hope, because there's a new version titled Robo 3D R2, and you can see it right here on the screen. And this version should be better than, of course, the R1. It's the second version, and I'm pretty sure they took the comments from their customers and incorporated it into the R2. So I hope this video was helpful and that it will save you some money and time in the world of 3D printing. Please hit the like button and subscribe, because I will be producing more videos relative to 3D printing. Please share this video, and don't forget to use the power of 3D printing.